So I'm going to do a product review with you guys. This is the SUNCOO 48 egg poultry incubator, and it's going to be a review complete with power monitoring included. So it's going to be a very thorough review. Let's get started. So I've had this thing running for about 24 hours. I resetted it already, but we're going to do one more reset. Just going to reset that back to 0. The temperature is pretty good. It's going to get about 38 degrees centigrade to start. Humidity is above 50. It's almost 70, so that's good. So now we're all set just to put our eggs in. So we have 14 eggs fresh from my flock. We're going to put them in the incubator. I've taken out the center egg turners because we don't need them. So let's get started. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our eggs. We're going to put them inside. 7 on this turner, 7 on that turner. So now that we have the eggs in, we're going to put the hood down, turn it back on, let it get started. When I first set it up, I put water in it. That's why the humidity levels are up. If you haven't done that already, go ahead and put water to get your humidity levels where they need to be. As long as it's above 50, you should be fine. For those of you asking, yes, I include the styrofoam and I leave it in there. The styrofoam came in the box. It's just a good way, cheap, free way to keep it insulated, especially in the winter times. We're here in the Pacific Northwest and it can get cold. And like I said, we have power monitoring, so we're going to be able to see the voltage on it, how much it's cost us to run the thing, cost per kilowatt hour, how much power we've used kilowatt hour wise, time elapsed. So it's complete setup, and this will give us some good information as to how efficient this thing is with electricity. So that's all for now. So I want to do a quick update for you guys. I want to talk a little bit more about the SUNCOO incubator, why I like it, and just a couple things to note. So the first thing to note is this is an all-inclusive system. This system does everything you need it to do. Just to put it in perspective, it says day 5 right here, which really means is day 6. Day 00 would be day 1 technically, and we went on a trip, me and my family, and so what we did was we set this up right before we left. So that video that you saw was me literally doing a quick video for you guys before we left for 4 or 5 days. And so as you can see, I haven't done anything to it. I haven't had any water. I haven't done anything. I don't have to turn the eggs because they automatically turn themselves when they're in there every 2 hours. As you can see right here, this timer will turn the eggs. It has a thermometer built in that is going to control temperature. It's going to control humidity. And so I left it alone. I mean, is that recommended? No, but it's an all-inclusive system. As long as all the parameters are set, it'll take care of itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some water. Usually every 5 days I add water, but you know, as you can see, the humidity is at 68, so it's fine. As long as it's above 50, it's okay. But I like to add water, like I said, every 5 or so days, just to make sure that it's topped off. Because the last thing I want to do is overnight something happen, temperature drop, what have you. The outside air temperature drops, I mean, and there be a humidity issue. So I like to every 5 to 6 days just add water into it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So we're just going to add some water. And also while I'm doing this, I'm looking at the eggs and making sure they're okay. Nothing's cracked. Nothing looks abnormal. And the eggs look fine. Usually at this point, a lot of people will start to candle the eggs, look at the embryonic development. You can do that if you want. We have, 14 eggs here. I want to get this thing back to what it's doing. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not really that interested in candling eggs anyway. So it's really a hands-off system. Every 2 hours, it'll rotate the eggs automatically for you. It'll keep track of the time. As long as you have the parameters set up for temperature, humidity, an alarm will go off to let you know that something's not in sync. And then I have power monitoring with the kilowatt meter there for sustainability and preparedness reasons. So, the system really takes care of itself. It's really hands-off. All you have to do is make sure that you put water in it every once in a while. And other than that, you leave it alone. I've had pretty good hatch rates with the incubator so far. We have 14 eggs in there right now, so we'll keep you updated on our progress. Stay tuned. So doing a little update with you guys. So since the last time I talked to you, it's been 10 days. So now we're now on day 15, and I haven't done anything. I've pretty much just let this thing go. I haven't even added water to it. So I'm going to add some water right there. It's bath water temperature. We're going to add some water to this and just kind of see what's going on because quite honestly, I haven't done anything. I just let the system go. None of the alarms have gone off. So we'll see when we open it up to add some water. So far everything looks good. Nothing looks cracked. Nothing's smelling bad. Everything looks like it's going the way it's supposed to. So we're going to add some water. We're going to close this thing up real quick. So as you guys saw, this thing went 10 days. Didn't do anything to it. Didn't add any water. The alarms didn't go off. As long as I keep it above 50, I'm okay. It was bouncing between 55 and 60, so I thought, hey, what the heck, we'll add some water before lockdown. But there you have it, man. It's an all-inclusive, put-together system. At the end of the day, I'm one of those rugged homesteader types. I'm not here trying to make a science experiment out of every project. You know, if 1 or 2 eggs don't hatch because the humidity levels weren't exactly at 72.5% or whatever, you know, I need something that's automated. I need something that's going to do what it promises. And that is this, you know, that is this product right here. So we'll see you in a couple days for lockdown. We'll make sure everything's prepped and ready to go. It's a super simple process. And we'll see how many eggs we hatch. And since we're here, I figured we'd look at the power. Remember, it's been 16 days, 15 plus 1 because we count 0. So this is how much we've spent so far approximately. Cost per watt, how much power it's used, expended hours, that kind of thing. That's our voltage. So I'm looking forward to see what the final product is. Can you guys hear and see that? Wow, our chicks are hatching. They started hatching last night. It's day 21, which makes sense. Usually I would open it up around this time, but since they just hatched, I'm going to let it go for at least 24 more hours, because if there's anybody else that needs to hatch, I don't want the rush of cold air to saran wrap them in. So we'll wait 24 more hours, and then we'll open them up, we'll take the chicks out, and then we'll close it again, and we'll let it sit to day 23. And then whatever we have at day 23 will be our final count. But this is great. I'm super happy. It's been a great day, guys. So it's been 24 hours. We're going to take the chicks out. Oh, there they are. So as you can see, we have 9 here. So we're going to go ahead and put the other eggs back. We're going to see if another day, day 23, another day helps. And if not, then we'll discard the rest. And here they are in the outdoor grow-up brooder. Looks like they're taking to it very, very well. It's day 23, and it's day to finally put everything up. And as you can see here, looks like we have one more egg that tried to hatch, but I don't think it made it. So we've had the incubator on 23 days. We've rehatched our chicks. So now let's look at our power consumption. So if we look at the power here, we can see that we consistently pull in 118.7 volts. Total cost is approximately $2.15. The rate is 0.109 approximately. Total kilowatt hours 19.76. Total elapsed time 565 hours. So at face value, it may seem like we had a hatch rate of only 64%, but in reality, that's not the case, and this is why. So when I looked at the eggs, I noticed that 2 of them weren't even fertilized. You put an unfertilized egg into any kind of incubator, no matter how good it is, you're not going to produce any chicks. So realistically speaking, we put a dozen eggs, fertilized eggs, into the incubator. Out of a dozen, 9 hatched. 1 made it all the way to maturation. It couldn't get out of its shell, but we're still going to count that as a loss, right? So altogether, realistically, we had a hatch rate of 75%. So in all actuality, that's actually really good, especially for an incubator that I had minimum interaction with. Realistically, could I have possibly, upped the humidity, monitored the humidity better than I did? Absolutely. Would that have mean that we would have increased hatch rate? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Another thing to think about is the fact that it's wintertime here. We are in the middle of winter, so it's extremely cold outside. So realistically speaking, the eggs that I got maybe weren't going to hatch from the ones that didn't hatch, maybe weren't going to hatch from the beginning because of how cold the coop got in the morning before I was able to get to those eggs. So overall, I think the incubator did a great job, and here's some reasons why. So 75% hatch rate's pretty good hatch rate. And with that hatch rate comes a lot of other factors besides just the incubator. Okay, you have the time of year, you have the temperature, you have the chicken. So there's a lot of other factors that go into hatch rate, and it's not just on the shoulders of the incubator. So keep that in mind. So I conducted this product review in the dead of winter time because I think it's important when you're doing a product review to put it through its paces and to test it in the absolute worst conditions, because as a homesteader at the end of the day, I want a product that works, and I need to look at what's going to happen in a worst case scenario. So conducting this in the wintertime in December when temperatures in the morning are at, below, or near freezing is super important, because it just shows that not only do I have a great herd of chickens, but also I have a product that's viable, that's going to keep those eggs viable until they can reach maturation. So I'm really pleased about that. This is an all-inclusive system. It's great. It will automatically turn your eggs for you every 2 hours. It monitors how much time has elapsed. It monitors humidity. It monitors temperature. And it allows you to set your own parameters. So if something goes outside those parameters, you're notified. It alarms you. So that's great, because there was a time where I didn't interact with it for 10 days. There was another time that I was gone for 5 days. I wasn't even in the same county. So if anything happened, I wouldn't even be there to make adjustments. So, it's an all-inclusive system. It's very hands-off, and it allows you as a homesteader, farmer, or just hobbyist to be able to go about your day-to-day life and not have to worry about if your eggs are being taken care of or if they're being incubated properly. It does it all for you. For power consumption, it's a 118-volt system. It'll run just fine off of any solar generator or DIY battery bank with inverter, no problem. You have a total cost of $2.15 for a 23-day incubation time, which is not that bad at all. So altogether for power consumption, it's very reasonable for those of you that are DIY, hobbyists, homesteaders, or people that are just really into a more sustainable preparedness lifestyle. So that's my breakdown. I encourage you guys to do your own research, look at different product reviews, look at different products, do your research and homework, and figure out what works best for you. But I hope you guys like the video. Stay tuned for the next one. As always, guys, long live the Republic.